We throw around terms like e-learning and distance learning all the time, but have you ever really thought about where they came from? Well, it turns out they're not just modern buzzwords. They've got this super long, really fascinating history that goes back way, way before the internet was even a thing. Okay, let's get into it.
So, let's just tackle the big question right away. What's the actual difference between these two? I mean, we kind of use them interchangeably, right? But are they really the same? Just think about it for a second.
Okay, so here's the deal. Think of distance learning as this huge umbrella. It covers any kind of education where you and the teacher aren't in the same room. We're talking lessons by mail, over the radio, even on TV. Now, e-learning fits under that umbrella. It's a specific type of distance learning, the kind that absolutely needs digital tools and the internet. So here's the key. All e-learning is distance learning, but not all distance learning is e-learning. Makes sense, right?
To really get this, we've got to jump in a time machine and go way back. I mean, before computers, before digital anything. This is the analog era, and it's where the whole story of learning from afar actually kicks off. It just goes to show you, the desire to learn has always pushed the boundaries of whatever tech was available at the time.
This is so cool. Check this out. As soon as a new communication tool was invented, people immediately thought, hey, can we use this to teach? It started as early as 1728. Lessons were literally printed in the newspaper, the Boston Gazette. 100 years later, in the 1830s, you could sign up for formal courses through the mail in Sweden. Then, bam, the 1920s hit and radio becomes the new classroom, with over 200 stations broadcasting lessons. And by the 1950s, universities were launching their own TV channels. It's incredible.
Yeah, just try to picture it. Decades before you could binge-watch lectures on YouTube. Kids and adults were gathering around their radios or their TVs at a very specific time each day to tune in for their lessons. The tech was totally different, but the core idea, making education available to everyone, no matter where they lived, that was already there.
And then everything changed. Seriously, the personal computer and the internet didn't just tweak distance learning a little bit, they created a whole new species. This was it, the start of the digital revolution in education.
And this is the exact moment e-learning was born, the 1980s. As personal computers started showing up in homes, education started shifting from analog signals, radio waves and TV broadcasts, to the digital ones and zeros of computers. That one little change, from analog to digital, that's the dividing line right there.
That whole shift set the stage for one of the most important years in this entire story, a year that basically changed everything. 1991.
Yup, in 1991, Tim Berners-Lee invents the World Wide Web. And just like that, there's this global network connecting everyone, a place that could hold text, pictures, sound, everything. The door for online education wasn't just opened, it was blown clean off its hinges. And once that door was open, things just exploded. It happened so fast. In '97, we get Blackboard, the very first learning management system, which gave online classes some real structure. Then, in 2001, Creative Commons licenses made it super easy for teachers to share their work. By 2009, Khan Academy comes along and makes thousands of lessons totally free for everyone. And then, by 2013, we're in the full-blown MOOC era, with platforms like Coursera bringing actual university courses to millions of people all over the world.
And the growth was just astronomical. By the early 2000s, the number of people jumping on board was insane. Just look at this number. Over 2 million. Any guesses what that represents just a few years after the turn of the century? That's how many students were taking online courses in the US alone, all the way back in 2004. That's just over 10 years after the web was even created. It's wild. It just shows you how ready people were for this new way of learning. This was the beginning of a massive shift in education. So that pretty much brings us up to today. We've gone from lessons in a newspaper to entire universities in the cloud. So let's put it all together and see how these different learning models stack up right now. This table breaks it all down so nicely. You can see the big differences right away. You've got in-person learning, which needs everyone in the same room at the same time. Then there's distance learning, which breaks that location barrier using pretty much any tool you can think of. And then you have e-learning. It's super-powered digital kid, defined by things like an LMS and the internet and that flexibility of asynchronous interaction, which just means you can learn whenever it fits your schedule. But here's where it gets really interesting. Today, all these lines are getting completely blurry. Just think about a live class on Zoom, right? The interaction, it feels in person because it's happening live.
The location? Well, that's remote. And the tools? They're electronic. So you've got all three models, in-person, remote, and electronic, happening all at the same time. The categories are totally blending together.
So we've gone from mailing in our homework to having entire universities that exist only online. It has been an absolutely incredible journey, all of it powered by that simple human drive to learn and to teach. Which leaves us with one last really fascinating question to chew on. After all these centuries of evolution, what's next?